Okay, this one's just funny to me. This one's just funny to me. I keep seeing stuff about this, and I've got to talk about it, because it's that hilarious. It is full-on Fafo. So, do you remember that video that we looked at from Jubilee, where the fascist guy got on and was, like, celebrating the Nazis and celebrating Nazi writers and all that fun stuff? Do you remember that? Okay, so... we're going to get copyright hit if I don't have Final Fantasy going while I'm doing this. So give me a second. Let's move this. Options. Let's close this out for now so we can talk about this, because this is wild to me. This is wild to me. Let me get the actual background music I want to use. Senna says, did he get caught for faking getting fired? I'm not certain. I'm not certain. We're going to be reading through this. So, here's the timeline of events. Jubilee does that video where it's 20 conservatives versus 1 liberal. The liberal is a dude who understands the talking points of every fucking person in that room, dunks on all of them, and then this dude comes up. This guy right here. And I've got a short that goes over a couple of the things that he says that are just kind of wild. Let me see here. Is it this one? Man. Is it this one? Hold on. Let's see. Man, fascists say some weird things.
The First Amendment should not defend pornography, not...
So you don't believe in democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
So, my poorly edited short there shows this guy wants autocracy, he wants pornography banned, so he's anti-First Amendment, he's anti-freedom of speech, and he admits he's anti-freedom of speech. He wants freedom of speech stripped away from everyone, and yet he still gets applause from all the fucking conservatives in that room. It's wild to me. It's like they only hear the stuff they want to hear, but the minute that their freedoms would be restricted, they just don't care. So, let's go ahead and read this. A man who openly described himself as a fascist during a political debate is now claiming that he was fired from his job for expressing his views, and he's asking donations online to support himself. Last time I checked, he was sitting at $15,000. The fascist got $15,000 for getting fired for speaking about how other people should lose their human rights. Got a better idea. So, like, I've got a sponsor right now that you could totally utilize. Hit ! Cook Unity to support the channel. They will deliver food directly to your door, prepared by chefs, so that you can stop eating fast food. There. That's a fantastic thing you could do to support my channel. But you could also directly support me on Patreon. If a fascist is gonna get $15,000 for crying crocodile tears after claiming everybody else can lose their human rights, I feel like maybe $1 or $2 could be thrown at me. Just $1 or $2. That'd be fantastic. It would help with the dental work that I've been putting off because I don't have the money for it. I have had a couple people who have offered to help where that's concerned, but I still feel kind of skeezy. That said, let's continue taking a look at this. Connor Estelle appeared on an episode of Surrounded, a debate series by Jubilee. He was one of 20 conservatives debating progressive host Mehdi Hassan. The episode, which has now crossed nearly 4 million views, featured Estelle defending autocracy and expressing no concern about being called a Nazi. He has now launched a fundraiser on the Christian crowdfunding site Give, Send, Go, claiming he lost his job due to traditional right-wing views. Your traditional right-wing view is not strip everybody of their human rights. He says he's a victim of cancel culture. He hasn't revealed where he worked or what role he had. He hasn't explained to anybody where he got fired from or why, but people are still sending him money. I'm just gonna be the asshole that says, screw that, send me money. Honestly, I will spend your hard-earned cash on dental work, and Magic the Gathering cards. Probably in that order. Let's see here. Senna, thank you for 1,001 bits. I cannot promise what order your stuff is getting spent on. Both essential items. They are both essential items. It's true. His name is Connor James Estelle. He's a Catholic commentator known as Pine Sap. He said this to, let's see here. Let's see what they show here.
What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader, such as...
It's under Dear Leader.
It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be someone
who picks the autocrat?
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings were
isn't that democracy?
Well, sure.
I'd love to throw shade at another YouTuber right now who advocates for this exact type of government and yet does not receive adequate pushback. But I don't think it would be very helpful. So,
you can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards.
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills, because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt
supporters.
makes this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right?
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that.
So he's a fan of the Nazis.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
what about the persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution and stuff like that, which is bad.
There was a little bit of persecution. The Holocaust happened.
You're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Why do people applaud that? They should not be applauding that. Once somebody admits that that is what they are, I feel like the correct thing to do with your hands is look around for a brick. Because this is a person who, if given any amount of power, would willingly strip away not only your rights, but your fucking life. Cinderone, thank you for redeeming your points for an ara. You fucking degen. Terran Ambassador says the fact that he got applause for that is insane. It is. It is insane. It is insane. We need to live in a world where more people are comfortable punching Nazis. Because this is one of them. So who is Estelle? Well, he goes by the name Pine Sap in his fundraising appeal. In Jubilee's surrounded debate show, he openly supported autocracy. When asked about Nazi persecution, he dismissed those concerns. The fundraiser has actually hit 20,000 so far. Okay. Thankfully, we actually got some information sent in by one of our amazing viewers in the audience. Thank you very much, Stygander. Also, Stygander, can I just say, you've routinely had links to important shit that I'm covering very often. Why is that? Because I'm kind of at a point where we might need to talk. We might need to talk after this. Both about your obviously slipping mental health, because the type of person who openly engages with this all the time needs help. I am a person who openly engages with this all the time. Hello, yes, I need help. I'm gonna blink because I am held hostage by content. But also, just in general, this shit seems incredibly helpful, so we may actually talk a little bit about ways that we might be able to help this channel out in getting information. So, let's see here. The digital world erupted this week when Connor James Estelle, a 24-year-old cloud engineer, because this is where he actually worked, a place called VUp, was terminated by their employer VUp following his controversial appearance on Jubilee. Estelle's participation in Jubilee's Middle Ground series took a dramatic turn when he openly identified as a fascist and expressed admiration for Francisco Franco's regime. The episode rapidly gained billions of views, with clips flooding social media platforms like Twitter within days. VUp, a cloud solutions provider where Estelle worked since February, terminated his employment in... Wait, hold on. You've only been working there 4 months? My guy, you've barely been working there at all, you fucking baby. Jesus Christ. In a statement to the Rift TV, Estelle framed his dismissal as political discrimination, saying, "This is cancel culture in action. Punishment for voicing legal, traditional right-wing views. You openly supported the killing of other people. You openly supported the killing of other people, which, again, in my estimation, is a good enough reason for your want to keep yourself protected to be forfeit. Once you are okay with other people being attacked, other people being killed, I feel like the tolerance paradox should always apply. The fallout intensified when Mehdi Hassan himself tweeted about Estelle's termination, writing, "This self-proclaimed fascist dude is apparently saying he was fired from his job." Critics like Julian Hoes countered Estelle's narrative, highlighting his on-camera statements about being against free speech and being fine with people being killed. VUp has not issued an official public statement, but screenshots shared by Twitter user Zeke Martinez showed a LinkedIn message from the company acknowledging Estelle's departure effective immediately. So you know why you would get fired for this shit? When you work for a company, you are a representative of that company and its values. That's it. You are that. You are an extension of the will of that company. Now, whether or not that is right is up for debate, but it is also true. It is entirely true that you are a representative of that company. When you are an employee, when you are an associate, hell, in some situations, even if you are a contractor, you, on some level, represent the values of that company. So, of course, when that company gets wind that this is the kind of shit you're saying online, that you're comfortable with espousing, then they're gonna go, huh, does killing innocent people represent our values? No? Well then, looks like you gotta go. Facing sudden unemployment, Estelle launched a Give Send Go campaign with a $15,000 goal to cover living expenses while job hunting. He emphasized its legitimacy in the description. "This is the only legitimate campaign. I will not DM or email asking for money." The fundraiser surpassed its target within hours, raising $17,656 at the time of writing. Again. If fascists can get this kind of money that quick, then I would prefer if being on any other side of politics could make money. Jesus Christ. The online response split sharply along ideological lines. Supporters rallied behind Estelle's right to free expression. Yeah, you were allowed to say your things. There was no legal ramifications for you saying those things. Yeah, you are allowed. You are 100% allowed to say whatever you want without getting legal ramifications, as long as it's not something about, killing a president. A company is also, however, legally allowed to look at that and say, does this represent our values, and then get rid of you. Because he says, this is the same guy that says that he would trust the people in power, right? Yeah. Weird, right? The people in power not having his best interests at heart? Weird. Digital sleuth Eric Levi uncovered Estelle's identity and Colorado roots, amplifying the scrutiny. Estelle appeared on the Rift TV to discuss his experience and is scheduled for a podcast interview on July 23rd. Apparently, he graduated from the University of Denver, Colorado. Yeah, apparently sometimes college can't fix morons. Worked as a communications specialist. No, the fuck he isn't. Absolutely not. You're not a communications specialist. You communicated terrible ideas, and then you got hurt by it. He served as a marketing coordinator at MedGeo Ventures. He was hired as a cloud engineer on 2025 and was terminated in July. His estimated net worth is $100,000. I don't trust estimated net worths because my estimated net worth is like $120,000 because I own property. But, like, this house is falling apart and the square footage is all unkempt. But according to online resources, that's my net worth. I don't know how, but it is. Okay. His online handle on Twitter is FeelsGuy2003. No verified information about marital status or children. I hope he has none. I hope you're not having kids to instill those terrible fucking ideals in them. This case forces uncomfortable questions about where personal belief ends and professional consequences begin. A cloud engineer's political comments cost him his livelihood but funded his survival through polarized crowdsourcing. As cancel culture debates intensify, verify facts at Jubilee's official channel and scrutinize Wait, hold on. As counterculture debates intensify, verify facts at Jubilee's official channel and scrutinize employer policies before expressing contentious views publicly? That feels like that was written by a chatbot. That feels like that was written by AI. He had a good job and he threw it away to be a fascist moron. Yeah, no, cope and seethe. This is full FAFO. This is full FAFO. 100%. Zero Life Date Grok, is this true? Grok, context? Grok, context? Grok. Anime waifu Grok, context? They terminated him. Critics argue his comments violated professional... I would say his comments violated professional conduct standards. Like, if I was actively arguing for the murder of ethnic groups, which is what he effectively was doing, de facto, then yeah, I, as an employer, would not want him working under me. He's a 24-year-old University of Denver graduate who worked in communications and marketing, becoming a cloud engineer at VIA. Jesus Christ, you are 24 years old. You are the age I was when I was still a conservative, abusive piece of shit. You are the age I was at one of the lowest points of my life. But for some reason, you get $15,000 for being a piece of shit. Why? Axos is... Get is this true? Grok, is this true? DU is a snooty private school, so his parents probably make bank. Yeah, he's definitely old enough to not be this stupid. And yet, we live in a world where he is. There's nothing actionable here other than just making fun of a guy on the internet who's definitely fucked up a major part of his life. But here's the thing. The scary thing about this is not just that he's a fascist. The scary thing about this is that I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the projection of this is going to be. He's going to be the rights news celebrity. He's going to play the victim card. And in the next 2 or 3 weeks, he's going to be on podcast interviews with a bunch of right-wing outlets. And he's going to become a household name in politically plugged-in right-wing spaces. That's what's going to happen. 110%. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But this guy's ideas are going to get propagated around. Because the right loves this kind of sob story. He was fired for his political beliefs. The woke left mob canceled him. Everybody on the right eats that shit up. They slurp it up like Donald Trump's cummies. And I fully expect that we are going to be seeing more of this guy in the coming years. And I hate that. I hate that. Terran Ambassador says you're only as canceled as your next gig. Yup. Yeah, you may have been fired, but you've probably just created yourself a hugely lucrative career. And Jubilee launched it because they platform some of the most awful people for popcorn politics. Don't get me wrong. I would love to be making the kind of money that a YouTube organization like Jubilee makes. But I can't fathom having the lack of ideals that would create such a situation in the first place. Stygander says, oh, Pine Sap is by no surprise a Nick Fuentes supporter. Of course he is. Of course he is. I've been covering Nick Fuentes stuff for 6 or 7 years. So you know what that tells me? That tells me, likely, this guy as a fucking teenager started watching Fuentes. His late teens, early adult life was likely spent identifying as a groiper. And here we are. The end result of Fuentes. That's enough of this one. There's no real action plan here other than continue to make fun of the guy. But just be careful as you see him parroted around, because he's going to make his way into multiple right-wing spaces. I'm fairly certain. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full-time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Limor Pinku, Love Bunny Games, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Aurora, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press, though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.